Huo Yao, she scored full marks on the high school transfer exam, making some teachers suspect she had connections. He Showerman suddenly had a bright idea as if she thought of something. She took out her phone and called her mother in her hometown. It seems she wants to play the family card. On this side, at the Rural Life Live broadcast scene, the house has been cleaned up. Plant images have been painted on the white walls. The outlined edges are full of boldness. Breaking the monotony, Shao Mullen's younger brother sincerely praised. Sister's design scheme is still the best. The overall look has a kind of retro style. Shao Mullen was surprised. I didn't expect Sister to be so good at painting too. Too amazing, but what is this? Flowers or grass? I've never seen it before. Hugh looked at the painting and replied, "This is a gun leaf. Just drew it casually, somewhere on Earth, using satellite signals to connect to the internet." A middle-aged man clicked into the live broadcast room out of boredom. When he saw the painting under the lens, especially that familiar-looking plant, he was stunned, looking at Huo Yao in the camera. He felt that the expression in Huo Yao's eyes was strangely familiar. The man scratched his head when he wanted to look more closely. The screen suddenly froze after 2 seconds. It directly popped up a message saying, "Dear, the network is not working well. Please check your network status." Then no matter what angle or position he tried, the satellite signal could not connect again. The man cursed. What kind of crap is this? Claiming to be future high-tech. Fragile garbage failing at the critical moments. Soon both houses were built. At 4 o'clock, the live broadcast room closed on time. Shenxi was on the phone at this time. Without the live broadcast, the camera facing him, his expression and attitude while talking on the phone were completely different from when facing the public in the live broadcast room, vicious and arrogant. Yinhai in the yard, out of politeness, asked Shadow God, "What's wrong?" Seeing it was Yinhai, Shenxi slightly restrained his emotions. "The car coming to pick me up had a malfunction on the road. It can't arrive on time." Yinhai thought for a moment and said, "Why don't you ride in my car first? I'll take you to the county town." What a scheming bitch. Who will help me slap her? Mom seemed to realize something and pushed her away, coldly saying, "Thank you for your trouble, especially going to pick up Yao Yao." She was then secretly entered into the National Knowledge Competition preliminaries, accidentally scoring full marks again. A special ringtone for a special you. Who said your special ringtone? Shanxi raised his hand to look at the time. The assistant would take at least 2 hours to arrive. He immediately nodded, then I'll trouble teacher Yin. Yinhai waved his hand, politely saying, "It's no trouble, it's on the way." Yinhai remembered something and turned back to Shanxi, saying, "The Hu siblings are staying in S, right? Seems to be the same place as your cousin." Shanxi was sensitive to the surname Huo. Until now, he didn't know that pair of siblings surnamed Lei. Then he thought carefully that pair of siblings looked so rustic. Even if they were surnamed Huo, it must just be a coincidence. He was really being too sensitive. How could they possibly have any connection to that top 100 enterprise? On this side in the car, Hu Yao was originally resting with her eyes closed. The phone in her pocket rang with a ringtone different from ordinary calls. She immediately opened her eyes and sat up straight. She quickly took out her phone beside her. Wu Shang asked curiously, "Who is it to make sister react so strongly and even set a special ringtone?" Wu Yao smiled very happily. Looking at the person on the phone, a voice came from the other end. "Yao Yao," it turned out to be a call from grandmother. The old lady looked at her granddaughter on the phone, her eyes becoming a bit moist. "It's been a few months since we've seen each other. My Yao Yao has already become a beautiful young lady." Hu O Yao saw her expression was unusual and seemed lost in thought. She asked, "Do you have something you want to tell me?" The old lady on the other end turned her head away from the camera for a moment, then looked back at the lens. "Nothing. I just missed you and wanted to give you a call." Hu O Yao raised her eyebrows slightly and directly exposed. "I've grown up by your side since I was little. Do you think I don't understand you? Did the Liu family say something to you again?" The old lady thought for a moment and then spoke directly. "Shaman called today asking for my help, but I know her. If it was just about easing the relationship, she wouldn't have made this call to me." This shocked the entire school. That day, the principal called Huo Yao to his office. "Grandma just wants to tell you, you don't know the Liu family anything. Our Yao Yao is free. Don't let them manipulate you because of grandma." Huo Yao responded with a hymn and quickly hung up the phone afterwards. Huo Yao's gaze turned towards the car window, the depth making it impossible to discern what she was thinking. The next day at school, Lu Zemin actually directly blocked her path. His face now bore a playful expression. Finally caught you. You coward, Wei Yao glanced at Lu Zemin, her delicate brows showing some impatience. If you have something to say it, you have 1 minute, Lu Zemin said with a hint of shyness. Well, it's my birthday this Wednesday. Do you want to? Wei Yao directly interrupted him. No, I'm not going. Lu Zeming had anticipated that this coward might refuse, but seeing her so quick and decisive still made him unhappy. Why the most important thing for a family is to be together? This scene really made me cry. Wei Yao coldly looked at the person in the car. Go back and tell your mom, don't try to provoke me, there are some people she can't afford to mess with. After saying this, she walked away, first having Grandma intervene, then accepting the boy's invitation. What a clever scheme. Lu Zemin clenched his fist, watching Hu Yao's back. He just couldn't understand how the coward he remembered had now become so terrifying. Wei Yao walked to the roadside and took out her phone. Preparing to call her father to inquire about the situation, as she looked up, she opened her mouth in surprise. She stared blankly at the other person. Third brother is back, how touching. He walked towards Wei Yao unhurriedly. Sister, I'm back. Wow, 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 looking at the feast makes my mouth water. He earnestly told Hu Yao, I have high hopes for you in this national knowledge competition. Hu Yao explained, actually, I didn't sign up. These two are the happiest family. Altogether, it's really blissful. All right, that's the grand finale. Haha, just kidding. Hugh Tinger looked at his brother and asked, Third brother, are you leaving again this time? As soon as these words fell, Song Nain and Father Hugh's gazes both fell on Hugh Yuling. Hugh Yuling's eyes showed apology. My dad, Mom, I'm sorry. As soon as Song Ning heard this apology, her throat choked up. The tears she had been desperately holding back could no longer be contained. Without waiting for him to finish, she said, You still don't want to come home? Hu O Yulin hadn't expected that as soon as he spoke, he would make his mother so emotional. Mom, you didn't let me finish. Actually, I'm planning not to leave this time. After I finish the paperwork and send my things back, I won't be leaving. Songname instantly became happy. Then don't go out this time, you're back. Let your uncle help you handle the paperwork. Nearby, Hugh Yaju's parents seemed particularly nervous about third brother's attitude. Mother was so excited she couldn't help but cry. Second and fourth brother quickly went to comfort her. Huo Yenchai spoke up and asked, How is uncle's health? Huo Yulin just shook his head helplessly. It's still the same. It's all problems from when he was young. It can't be cured completely. Second and fourth brother are really funny. They completely overturned my imagination of them after washing up. Huo Yao took out a book to read. It was the 2 psychology theses that Minyu had given her last time. Soon there was a knock on the door. She saw third brother standing at the door holding 2 boxes in his hands. He handed the boxes over. This is a gift that third brother specially brought for you. The smaller box on top is from uncle. He asked me to pass it on. Huo Yao thought of the 3 big boxes of review materials from last time and didn't dare to reach out to take it. According to her deduction, the box might really contain test papers. It's really the first time she didn't want to receive a gift. Haha, Hugh Yulin saw her not taking it and asked puzzledly, What's wrong? Do you want third brother to send it directly to your room? Everyone, guess what this gift is? Tell me in the comment section. Who could have thought that the once sunny and cheerful boy would completely change after experiencing such a thing? The principal said with a mischievous smile, I signed you up. I think the competition won't be difficult for you. Our school's college admission rate has clearly declined in recent years. I don't want the school's century-old reputation to be ruined under my watch. Huo Yao opened the box, and when she saw the gift was a computer, she couldn't help but sigh in relief. Thankfully, it's not review materials. After checking the computer, she found that this computer had very high specifications, but thinking about it, it made sense. Last time at 32nd Brothers Manor, there was a lot of high-tech equipment installed at this moment. Hugh Yao's gaze fell on a jewelry box. This was the bracelet Uncle sent. The design was simple and low-key, not flashy at all. It was quite suitable for young girls to wear. Hugh Yao took out the bracelet and found that it had a locator inside. This kind of locator wasn't used for tracking people, but for saving people in critical moments. When Uncle makes a move, it's always like this. Suddenly, she became a bit curious about what kind of person he really was. The next morning, when Father Huo saw his daughter come down, he said, Daughter, why are you coming down so late today? Are you having breakfast now? Huo Yao said Sister had something to do this morning. It's her turn for duty today, so she won't eat at home. She'll just take a sandwich on the way. After thinking for a moment, she added, third brother just fell asleep this morning. Don't wake him up. Hearing this, Huo Yankai's gaze froze. He seemed to have seen his sister coming out of third brother's room this morning. Even though he was the first one to welcome his sister back, he had become the most distant one in the family. It really was self-inflicted. Songname handed him a glass of milk, unable to resist complaining, drink less alcohol in the future. Then she turned to look at her second son, telling him to come back early in the evening as a friend wanted to consult on some legal issues. Hugh Tinger narrowed his eyes suspiciously. You could have just asked him to go to my law firm. Why come to the house? Songning glared at him and snapped. When I tell you to come home, just come home. Don't ask so many questions. Hugh Tinger let out a pitiful "oh" with two tyrants at home. Offending either one would result in a double beating. If he couldn't fight back, he might as well be a coward. Haha, poor second brother. As soon as Hugh Yao got in the car, he remembered how his third brother looked this morning. Third brother used the eye drops I gave him last night, but he still couldn't sleep. It seems his insomnia has gotten worse. Although acupuncture successfully helped him fall asleep, it's not a long-term solution to cure his third brother's condition, who oh yeah couldn't help but ask. So Huo Yao directly said, I understand. At this moment, Huo Yao suddenly realized that everything had been carefully planned by the cunning principal since it didn't affect her. She might as well do him this favor. Dad, what exactly is going on with third brother's insomnia? Hearing this, Dad Huo unconsciously tightened his grip on the steering wheel. After a long pause, he began, Your third brother was kidnapped when he was 12 years old. Huo Yao nodded. He had previously suspected this possibility but didn't expect it to be true. Due to certain circumstances, it took us 3 days to find him. When we did, he was barely alive, a 12-year-old child, tortured by a group of vicious people for 3 whole days. Although he came back, that sunny and lovable child no longer existed, Hu Yao said softly. It's all in the past, third brother will get better. According to the plot, these two will definitely end up together. They're a perfect pair of bickering lovers. In the afternoon, when Hu Yao returned home from school, Song Ning introduced her to her friend. This is my daughter Yao Yao, and that's my second son, Hu Tinger. Mrs. Fang smiled at them and said, Ning. Your children are also outstanding. It just so happens that your second son and our little Ting are about the same age. The young people should get to know each other. Haha, what a coincidence for these rivals. Who would have thought the blind date would be arranged at home? Huo Yao looked at the two and gave a miss of his smile. He fanged Ting felt a bit dizzy. Who would have thought that a rich person would attend a blind date event organized by the neighborhood committee? Does this playboy even understand what it means to have rich people's standards? Who owed Tingray didn't expect to see this rude girl again, picking fights for no reason, confrontational for no reason. What bad luck. The two involuntarily glanced at each other. The next second, they both childishly snorted and turned away. Bobo guessed this pair would definitely work out. Fang Ting's gaze turned to her sister, feeling that this pretty sister looked somewhat familiar. Looking at the pillow in her hand, she excitedly said, Isn't this the limited edition merchandise from Little Princess? Are you also following Garden Life? Let me tell you, I really like that masked sister in the show. Who owed Ting Ray raised an eyebrow. Do you know who that masked sister in the show is? She attended the preliminary exam on time. This made her parents very nervous. Don't be nervous. Dear daughter, just perform normally. Quick, check if you have your admission ticket and are all your stationery items complete in contrast. As soon as he said this, Huo Yao's hand landed on her second brother's shoulder. She then looked at him sideways. Second brother, you think you're capable again, huh? Huo Tinger smiled sheepishly and closed his mouth. He had been wrong before. There were actually 3 tyrants at home. In the evening, shortly after dinner, the two left. Mrs. Fang kept mumbling. Huo Tinger has good looks and a decent career. He's an excellent young man after meeting him today. Don't you have any thoughts? Fang Ting, playing with her phone, kept responding for fun too, really. Yes, yes, excellent, excellent. Fang Ting looked up and saw her older brother. Excitedly, she grabbed her mother's hand. Mrs. Fang saw Chen sitting in the living room. Little Chen, when did you come back? Why didn't you call Mom? Fang Ting looked closely at him. Big brother, have you been working too hard lately? You seem to have lost a lot of weight. Fang Chen's expression remained unchanged. I've been traveling to different places recently. It's normal to lose weight, seeing how thin her big brother had become. Fang Ting suggested he get a physical examination when he had time. In case he was sick, Mother Fang thought about sudden weight loss and illness. She suddenly rolled up her son's sleeve and saw the gaunt arm with protruding veins. Mother Fang's face turned pale, her voice trembling. When did this start? This looks just like when your girlfriend gets angry. They really are a perfectly matched couple. Fang Chen didn't expect his mother's sudden action. He straightened up and withdrew his hand. It's been about half a month, but don't worry, I'm slowly recovering. Mother Fang seemed as if all the anger had been drained from her body. Half a month when your father fell ill. He didn't last half a month before he passed. I never thought my son would also. Fang Chen comforted his mother, telling her not to get upset. He was really getting better. If you don't believe me, you can ask Xu Wen. He knows my condition best. At this point, Mother Fang was in tears. As if remembering something, she said, "Oh, that friend I had dinner with today has a very skilled doctor son. I'll give her a call and ask for help." Saying this, she took out her phone to make the call. Huo Yao said casually, "Mom, Dad, it's just a simple little competition. Don't be so dramatic." When Fang Chen heard very skilled, he thought that if the specialization didn't match, it would be useless. He was about to refuse, but then thought, forget it, let her do it. Maybe it will put her mind at ease. Meanwhile, Huo Yao told his third brother to come find him if he couldn't sleep. Huo Yao listened to his mother talk about illness and sudden weight loss, feeling it was familiar but not giving it much thought. After returning to his room, he realized he was running low on medicinal herbs. He took out his phone and scrolled through WeChat. Seeing Old Pay's contact, he couldn't help but feel a bit regretful. A 70% discount on medicinal herbs. With a light sigh, Huo Yao's fingertips scrolled down a bit more. Seeing Minyu's name, his eyes suddenly lit up. He had almost forgotten about this cash cow. Is it really okay for you to do this? She really likes the neighbor in there. Dear, can you help me with a small favor? Huo Yao typed out the message and hit send. After sending the message, she went to take a shower. When she came back while drying her hair, she checked her phone again, still no reply. What's going on? This guy usually replies instantly. The fish got away until 10:30 at night. When she was about to go to bed, there was still no reply on her phone. Yao Yao angrily put her phone on the table and covered herself with the blanket. No reply, then no reply. Doesn't this look like how your girlfriend gets angry? The next day, Hu Yao, as usual, got up early for his morning run. At this time, Liu Zia arrived. Wherever he goes, paparazzi are never far behind, taking all kinds of snapshots. This exaggerated entrance made Hu's mother look disgusted indeed. They're not family, everything about him seems unpleasant. After running for a while, he glanced at the time on his wrist and started walking towards home. Hu Yao looked up and saw the other person, but quickly returned to normal. How come it's you? Minyu said faintly, exercising. Huo Yao glanced at her coldly and said, then continue. I'm going home. Minyu was completely bewildered, not knowing how she had offended this little ancestor. Haha, they're such a good match. Pay attention. Boys, all look here. Let me show you what it means to spoil and indulge your own little one. Liu didn't know why Huo Yao was angry. When he stepped forward to block him, the man asked why he was angry. Huo Yao, like a boyfriend who made his girlfriend angry but didn't know what he did wrong, angrily replied, I'm not angry. Minyu's eyes lit up as he bent down. You answered too quickly. You're lying. Ah, so sweet. Huo Yao, not known if it was because he was caught or embarrassed, blushed and didn't say anything. Liu guessed the reason for his anger and explained calmly. I went out on business last night when I saw your message. It was already too late, so I didn't reply. Then he affectionately patted his head, promising to reply promptly next time. Tell me in the comments. Did you unexpectedly get a mouthful of dog food or bite a duck with a stiff mouth? Saying, no need, I'm not that petty, is that so? As they walked, Minyu spoke, so you had something to ask me last night. Wei Yao thought for a moment, just needed some medicinal herbs, with a slightly embarrassed look on his face. Some might be quite precious and hard to find, and there are quite a few varieties. Is it really just a little? When Li Yu heard the word precious, the corner of his mouth twitched. It's probably not that they're hard to find, but that they're expensive. Clearing his throat, he replied, I'll try to find them for you. At the lowest price, Huo Yao's mood instantly brightened, just like a girlfriend who had been comforted by her boyfriend. They enthusiastically sent off Huo Yao. Good luck, sweetie, we'll wait for you at the entrance. Really, I'm done, I'm done. Liu saw his use and discard attitude and thought to himself, little ungrateful one, but his own little one needs to be spoiled by himself. When Zhou Yun saw the list, his eyes instantly widened like copper bells. With a difficult expression, he said, "Are these all the medicinal herbs Miss Huo wants? Some are not easy to find, and there are so many varieties." Li Yu glanced at him and cleared his throat coldly. After a few seconds, he added, "Prepare them as soon as possible." Zhou Yun felt that his UGE had an illusion of fulfilling all of Miss Hu's needs without reason. If this were in ancient times, he would be called a befuddled ruler. Let me show you what it means to change face instantly. This is exactly what this shameless woman is doing. At noon in school, Huo Yao was eating. Halfway through his meal, a male classmate came over. "Huo, classmate, someone is looking for you in the school broadcasting room." The classmate shyly rubbed his eyelids, not daring to look directly at the big shot's eyes. "I think it's your mother," Huo Yao's eyes narrowed. Then he thanked him. If it were really his birth mother, she would have called him directly. As soon as Huo Yao opened the door to the broadcasting room, he saw his adoptive mother. The two classmates in the broadcasting room quickly stood up to greet Hu Yao when they saw him enter and made space for them to talk privately. They were all puzzled. This auntie is Liu Zia's mother. Why would she come to find Hu Yao? They also wanted to stay and watch the drama unfold, but they didn't dare to be so blatant about it. He Zia Omen, seeing the two classmates leave, walked up to Hu Yao and called out Yao Yao again. Hu Yao's disgusted little expression is killing me. He was disgusted by his adoptive mother and hugged himself. "If you have something to say it. Don't disgust me like this." Ziomen seemed used to this attitude and still had a smile on her face. "Mom was a bit harsh before. Mom will change, don't interrupt." At this moment, Mom suddenly thought, the eldest hasn't shown up since he learned Yao Yao got first place. What's he been up to? Dad laughed and said, "Whose mom are you? You come here calling yourself mom. Have you considered Lu Shaw's feelings? Moreover, I don't remember ever living in the Lu family." Showman's voice became feigned with guilt. "My mother, who is also your grandmother, raised you for so many years. You can't deny that. Can you?" Hu Oyao's eyes were cold, with a half smile on his lips. "What does that have to do with you? I came here just to tell you. If you have any conscience, put away those dirty tricks of your Lu family. Stop bothering an old person who should be enjoying her twilight years." After saying this, he turned and walked out. Shalman quickly chased after him. This time she wanted to get the question clear. After being exposed, the gentleness on Shalman's face could no longer be maintained. "I ask you, was it you who messed with the municipal government's bidding?" Huo Yao's expression was cold and indifferent. "I don't understand what you're talking about," he said as he stepped out of the broadcasting room. A Miss Huo made him stop in his tracks. He turned his head to look. Secretary Lin, this shameless woman, really went all out. She actually dared to question the big shot like this. Secretary Lin's official aura had already been subdued. He looked at Hu Xiao with a polite and courteous face. He smiled and explained, "I came to discuss something." What a coincidence. Principal Yu, with surprise, said, "Secretary Lin, you know our school's Hu student? The outstanding student I just told you about, who has repeatedly brought glory to our school, is Hu student. He's very likely to be next year's top scorer in the college entrance exam." Nearby, Shalman heard this. Seeing it was Secretary Lin, she tidied up her clothes. Then shamelessly she appeared behind them, called out to stop them, and even claimed to be Hu Yao's mother. Shaman's sudden appearance startled everyone present. What she said stunned them even more. Hu Yao Mei's eyes turned cold. She thought some people's faces were really thicker than the sky. It was truly shameless. Shaman's expression remained unchanged. She hadn't expected him to deny it in front of everyone, so she started playing the relative card. "Yao Yao, although you're not my biological child, we've been mother and daughter for over a decade." Hearing this, Principal Yu suddenly realized so they were from the Lu family. The previous foster father had even accused Hu of cheating. What a peculiar family they were. "It's getting late, I'll have your eldest brother take you home." After saying this, she walked around her and enthusiastically said to Hu Yao. He probably misunderstood. Yao Yao's grades weren't good. Principal Yu's face no longer showed the previous politeness. "I'm sorry, we're in the middle of discussing something. Please don't interrupt. How embarrassing." This was all self-inflicted. A moment later, Lin Shuan said goodbye to Hayao. Seeing Lin Shuan about to leave, Shalman, disregarding the awkwardness, called out to him again. "Wait a moment, Secretary Lin, I just want to know. Is it because of what my adopted daughter said that you didn't choose our Lu family?" Hayao, who was about to leave, stopped in her tracks upon hearing this. She had just been saying that the bidding matter was related to Lin Xuan. Lin Xuan pressed his brow, looked at Huo Yao, and then said in a deep voice, "It has nothing to do with Miss Huo, but Xiao Min knew the Lu family had lost the bid, so there was no need for any more reservations. Today, she was determined to get to the bottom of this. Everyone says, Secretary Lin, you handle matters fairly and honestly. Now it seems that's not the case at all." Lin H. Suin's face had completely darkened, he said coldly. "Mrs. Liu, something shouldn't be said carelessly, but Xiaomi had already gone all out. Initially, it was you who favored our Liu family, so you said you would focus on examining us. Do you dare say it wasn't your behind-the-scenes manipulation that made us lose the bidding qualification? Do you dare say you're not deliberately targeting our Liu family because of certain people? This face is thicker than the sky. There's no medicine for regret." "You deserve it." Faced with Ishaman's questioning, Lin Xuan suddenly smiled, his eyes full of sarcasm. "I thought I made myself clear last time. It seems I overestimated Mrs. Liu's intelligence. I originally wanted to save face for everyone to avoid making it too embarrassing since you want an answer. I'll tell you why your Liu family was eliminated." Lin Xuan took out his phone. In front of her, he called a colleague in the office, asking them to photograph and send him the documents in his drawer. Soon, Lin Xuan's phone received the photos. He handed the phone to Yishomin. "Look, this is your supposedly powerful Liu family, tax evasion or regular business practices, excessive borrowing, and various other major issues. This is the result of the focused examination, normally. People with a bit of sense should have some self-awareness, but clearly you just had to look for trouble. To be honest, if it weren't for Miss Hugh, you wouldn't even qualify for examination." Shalman staggered, struck by this truth. She muttered, "Impossible." Lin Xuan retracted his coldness and walked up to Hu Yao. He explained with some apology, "I'm really sorry at the time because I knew Lu Han Yuan was your foster father. I thought of returning a favor, which led to today's situation." And now he's too embarrassed to show his face. No wonder Xiao Min had asked him about the inexplicable bidding matter earlier. Understanding this, Huo Yao looked at him with exasperation and declared, "Let me clarify, my surname is Huo. In the future, don't push every random person towards me." Lin Xuan coughed awkwardly. "This was my mistake, don't take it to heart." Huo Yao didn't say more, the drama had been watched. She turned to Principal Yu and said, "Principal, I'm going back to the classroom." Principal Yu, still surprised by the big reveal, only managed a simple okay in response to Hayao. He's shaman, dazed and confused. Watched Lin Xuan's retreating back, his words still echoed in her ears. If it weren't for that adopted daughter, their Lu family wouldn't even have had the chance to be considered by the government. But wasn't she just an ordinary student? What ability did she have to make the city's executive secretary treat her so politely? Shalman walked through the campus, somewhat lost, carrying her bag. Her mind was in chaos. If the relationship hadn't been so strained back then, would the outcome be different now? There's no medicine for regret in this world, shocked. My friend, who could have imagined that the sought-after miracle doctor was right by their side? When Lin Xuan handed the medical records to Madame Fang, he asked with confusion, "Madam, Mr. Fang's health has already improved. What do you need these for?" Madame Fang expressed disbelief. "Xuan, you're not in cahoots with Xuan, deliberately hiding this from me, are you?" Lin Xuan smiled. "Madam, you're overthinking. I wouldn't dare hide such things from you. The master has truly got much better." Madame Fang looked at him intently for a few moments. Then, without further questions, she put the medical records in her bag and prepared to go out. She told Lin Xuan to return to work, saying she needed to go out. A friend's son, a famous doctor, had just returned from abroad. She wanted to have him look at the medical records. Lin Xuan was surprised and quickly followed her. Half an hour later, Lin Xuan arrived at the address Madame Fang had given. Her friend's residence, seeing the Huo family's main gate, Lin H. Xuan's expression became somewhat strange. "Madam, are you sure it's this house?" Seeing Madame Fang's puzzled look, Lin H. Xuan explained, "It's quite a coincidence. The one who cured Mr. Fang is also from this family." Song Lin opened the door and was surprised to see Lin H. Xuan. "You're Mr. Lin who came to see my daughter last time, right?" Lin H. Xuan, partly due to Hu Yao's connection, was quite polite and respectful. "Hello, Mrs. Hu." Madame Fang looked at the two of them with some surprise. She hadn't expected them to know each other. After Hu Yulin finished reviewing the diagnostic report, she spoke calmly. "The data on this is basically normal. I don't see any major issues." Mrs. Fang, hearing such an answer, felt it was no different from what other doctors had said when her husband passed away. Hu Yulin lowered her hand, calmly saying, "I'm sorry. My specialty is neurology. I've never encountered the symptoms you described. Little did they know, at that moment, someone who looked like the older brother was secretly watching Hu Yao enter the exam room from a distance, half an hour later. Song name noticing Mrs. Fang's suddenly darkened expression comforted her. Don't worry, there's always a solution. Mrs. Fang suddenly remembered something and turned to Lin Xuan. You said earlier that Chen's illness was cured. And he's at the Huo family. What did you mean? Lin Xuan calmly replied. Actually, Miss Huo treated Fang Chen. Song Lin immediately laughed. Lin, don't joke, my daughter is just a high school senior. How could she know how to treat illnesses? Although she occasionally brings home some pills, I still don't believe she can cure diseases. Lin Xuan was quite surprised by this. Could it be that Mrs. Huo doesn't know about her daughter's medical skills? Who wouldn't be curious about what happened to third brother before? Look at that wound. It's terrifying. Right on cue, the protagonist appeared. Wei had just returned home from school. Looking up to see the group sitting in the hall, especially Lin Xuan, she was slightly surprised. She noticed her mother's expression towards her seemed a bit off. Wei put down her backpack, puzzled, and forced an awkward greeting. Soon, Mrs. Fang and Lin Xuan prepared to leave the Huo residence. Before getting in the car, Mrs. Fang couldn't help but thank her again. Yao Yao, thank you for saving my son's life. Yao Minchen replied, no need to thank me. After all, I was paid after they left. Song Ning looked at his daughter. You can treat patients, she nodded and found an excuse. The old lady wasn't in good health, so when we were in the countryside, I learned from a traditional Chinese doctor for a while. Song Ning narrowed his eyes, feeling for the first time that his daughter might be trying to fool him. You learned from a traditional Chinese doctor for a while and can now treat rare genetic diseases? Do you think I'll believe that? One person's actions in the exam room clearly affected other students, inevitably causing complaints. How can the gap between people be so large? She noticed her mother's hidden anger. She slightly furrowed her brow, then changed the subject without changing her expression. By the way, why haven't we seen those financial people at our house lately? Ah, I was mistaken earlier thinking they were here to collect debts. Song Ning pretended not to understand and quickly went to check on the soup he was cooking, embarrassed to have forgotten about the tea he had used to fool his daughter earlier. Hu Yao approached third brother, saying, Third brother, I'll continue with your acupuncture tonight. I'll also try something I've been researching recently. Hu Yulin didn't think much of it and nodded. Agreeing to whatever his sister said, he was always overprotective of his sister. After dinner, Hu Yu finished her homework and went to third brother's room. Second brother was also there. They were discussing something, and Liu Zia's name was mentioned. Hu Yulin's gaze swept over the box in his little sister's hand. Are you going to give third brother acupuncture? Hu Yu, like last time, inserted silver needles into several acupoints on his head. When he was completely relaxed, Wei Yao knew the time was right. She took out a pendant necklace from her pocket, held it in the air, and slightly loosened her fingers. The pendant dangled vertically above his brow. She softly told third brother to relax and slowly follow her rhythm. Wei Yao was trying hypnotherapy for the first time. After reading dozens of books on clinical treatment methods, she decided to try this simplest one. Hu Yuling had always been resistant to psychological treatment but had no choice but to undergo it. He had to rely on hypnosis to achieve a state of rest. Hu Yao accidentally saw his scars, looking at the horrific scars. She could imagine the severity of the injury at the time. Beside her, Hu Tain asked in a low voice with a hint of wonder, Is he asleep already? Just a few needles and he's out? That's amazing. People can really be shameless. And there are indeed such people in reality. Hu Yao tilted her head towards Hu Tinger. Third brother's kidnapping case is related to a video. Hu Tinger was stunned for a moment, then asked, How do you know about third brother's situation? Hu Yao replied, Dad told me. He pursed his lips, then smiled without warmth. Does it matter? It's all in the past. It's getting late, you should go rest. Second brother didn't pursue the matter further and opened the door to return to his room. Yes, it was Hu Yao again. While others hadn't even finished half, she had already turned in her paper early. Next was the on-site interview. She happened to draw the 3 questions with the highest difficulty coefficient, but the reality left the invigilators stunned. Meanwhile, at the Liu family, Liu Hongyuan looked at his daughter with a kind expression. Sha, how have you been doing at school lately? Then he handed her a card. I've been busy with company matters lately and have neglected you. Lu Sha's eyes showed confusion. Why are you suddenly giving me money? If there's something, just say it. Lu Hanyuan said earnestly, Dad has been thinking lately. If you want to associate with the Hu family, I won't stop you. You and Yao Yao are schoolmates, right? Why don't you invite her to go shopping at the mall this weekend? The Hu family's financial situation isn't great. She might not be able to afford many branded items. You can use this card to buy her something she likes. Liu Zia bit her lower lip and said, Have you forgotten about the competition materials incident? Do you think she would want to associate with me? She then asked directly, Why do you suddenly want me to get close to Hu Yao? Liu Hongyuan took a deep breath and didn't hide it. Because she has close relationships with people at the city hall, unless she doesn't care about her reputation. Otherwise, Liu Sha was shocked and suddenly looked up at Liu Hanyuan. Dad, what do you mean? Liu Hanyuan's lips curled. I heard this from your mother, otherwise I wouldn't have known. That adopted daughter of mine has such great abilities. Pan Shanfeng, the executive director, a high school girl, a powerful man, hey, you're too naive to think badly of people. Lu Sha felt this matter was a bit strange. How could that Wei Yao be involved with Feng Chen? Moreover, if he remembered correctly, in his previous life, Feng Chen died at a young age due to a strange illness. Perhaps there was a deviation from the trajectory of the previous life, which should be considered normal if he could use this to control Huo Yao or directly destroy him. It would be a way to vent his anger. After all, he truly despised Huo Yao. My goodness, when will you two get together? Everyone was getting anxious. At this moment, Huo Yao, unaware of being on someone's mind, was sneezing uncontrollably. She solved them in just 2 minutes. This kind of abnormal thinking logic is definitely that of a genius. Great, our country has a chance to win an award in this year's international competition. When Huo Yao walked out of the exam room, her parents nervously asked, Daughter, why are you out already? Minyu asked with concern. Huo Yao, not at all polite about catching a cold and quite narcissistic, wondered who was thinking about her opening the box. Her eyes gleamed. Inside was the premium 7-leaf lotus she had been searching for a long time. Indeed, my neighbor is a handsome cash cow. Wei Yao, suppressing his excitement, said, These herbs you found are all of excellent quality. How much? I'll transfer the money to you now. Minyu glanced at him sideways. How much do you think these herbs are worth? Just name a price. Huo Yao's lips twitched. He lowered his gaze to look at the box in his arms. If valued according to Cloud Border, the herbs inside would be worth at least tens of millions. Huo Yao coughed, his voice casual. I think they're worth about 1,000 yuan or so. Minyu's expression was quite complex. Indeed, one shouldn't expect a miser to part with much money. Noticing Minyu's gaze, Huo Yao nervously rubbed his eyes at that moment. His phone rang. Someone was inviting him to dinner. Minyu casually asked, A friend inviting you to dinner? Huo Yao replied offhandedly. It's Fang Chen's sister from last time when I helped the old ancestor save him. Li Yu's lips twitched. I helped you find so many herbs. Shouldn't you thank me? Like treating me to a meal. Huo Yao waved his hand generously. Sure, let's go to Old Yu's medicinal cuisine restaurant another day. We can support his business and nourish our health at the same time. I have to go now. I'll contact you later, dear. Watching the departing figure, Li Yu pressed his brow dejectedly. This dense fellow, it seems he had lost both money and the person. Soon after, the phone on the tea table rang. It was a bank transfer notification. Minyu held the phone thoughtfully. He hadn't expected that someone would know his personal account. Suddenly, his eyes swept over the transfer amount again. Was it meant to signify long-lasting? Yes, 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 I agree for you two to be together. Who could have imagined that these two people who seem to have nothing in common would suddenly meet? Someone else is going to suffer now. Wei Yao and Feng Chen soon met with the others. The atmosphere was quite harmonious. Feng Chen, remembering how Wei Yao didn't like being disturbed during his last checkup, apologetically said, Miss Huo, my mother visited you a few days ago. I'm sorry for the trouble. Huo Yao waved her hand dismissively. It's fine. I understand a mother's love for her child. Fang Tang, knowing her brother couldn't conveniently go out, went to pay the bill first. Huo Ting Rui also went to bring the car around, telling his sister to wait at the entrance. Huo Yao calmly replied, The questions were too simple. I came out after answering them. Her parents were a bit dazed at this point and could only say, Daughter, you must be tired from the exam. Let's go. We'll treat you to a big meal. Now only Huo Yao and Feng Chen remained. Huo Yao seemed to sense something and looked towards the restaurant's floor-to-ceiling glass windows. A suspicious figure with a camera was standing outside. The lens pointed directly in their direction. Feng Chen frowned, pulled his mask up, took out his phone from his pocket, and made a call after hanging up. Feng Chen looked at Hu Yao. It might be a reporter, don't worry. Hu Yao had already withdrawn her gaze. She cleared her throat, her expression indifferent, not concerned. As soon as Feng Ting got in the car, she saw her brother picking up documents to read again. She shook her head in disappointment and said irritably, "Brother, it's rare for you to have a day off. Can you put aside your work and enjoy a pleasant Saturday?" Her eyes rolled and Fang Tane held her phone in front of Fang Chen's face. "Look how cool this girl is, so stylish." With the phone blocking his view, Fang Chen turned his head away helplessly, his voice turning a bit serious. "Don't mess around." Fang Chen's eyes swept over the phone screen. Seeing the masked girl in the video, the familiar look in her eyes made him pause briefly. Fang Chen came back to his senses and glanced at Feng Tang. "Isn't that Wu Yao?" Feng Tang didn't react immediately. She asked dumbly, "What did you say?" Feng Tang looked at the girl in the video, comparing her to Wu Yao. Holy crap. Feng Tang's expression cracked a bit. Meanwhile, Liu Xia received a call from an unknown number inviting her to meet at an afternoon tea restaurant in the city center. Only upon entering did she realize that the other party was none other than Shen Sis' cousin. Wu Miao, seeing her, Liu Zio wondered why she would suddenly invite her out. Given that they had no connection, Wu Miao looked up at the person coming in and said coolly, "You're late." Liu Zio sat down unhurriedly, removing her face mask to reveal her delicate features. Wu Miao's gaze fell on Lu Xiao's face. "It's such a pity. Your talent has been shelled by the agency." Lu Xiao's heart chilled. A flash of coldness passed through her eyes. Just an 18th-tier starlet with no acting skills. Where did she get the superiority to mock her? She suppressed her displeasure and said calmly, "What did you want to see me about?" Does this person have a masochistic tendency, deliberately seeking discomfort in front of others? Wu Miao pursed her red lips. "I know you and Lucky used to be siblings, so you must know about his current sister, right? I want information about her." The siblings met for the first time in 17 years. Just because Huo Yao called him second brother, Huo Tinger instantly melted. Lu Sha had thought Wu Miao wanted to inquire about Hu Xiao, but unexpectedly it was about Hu Yao. After a moment of silence, she asked, "Why are you asking about her?" Wu Miao's gaze turned cold, not hiding her disgust because she's very annoying. Lu Sha was surprised by this response. "If you're looking to cause trouble for her, I advise you to give up that idea. He's not someone to mess with." Wu Miao narrowed his eyes and asked, "Why can't we mess with him? He has strong backing." Liu Zia's lips twitched nervously under her mask. "He has deep connections with the city hall." Meanwhile, after Huo Yao returned home, his phone kept ringing. He just answered quietly, hearing the middle-aged man's voice on the phone. Huo Yao's brows furrowed after listening to a couple of sentences. He hung up immediately. "Things are really lively lately. The Liu family members are coming to find me one after another. Even Liu Hanyuan came this time." Tisk, tisk. Liu Hanyuan's face darkened as he threw his phone onto the coffee table with a clang. He couldn't believe Yang Min had actually blocked him. He Xiao Min was startled and frowned. "What are you getting angry about now?" Liu Hanyuan didn't answer her question. Instead, he turned to her and said, "Call Wei Yao now." He Xiao Min's lips curled downwards as she replied coldly, "She blocked my number long ago after returning to her birth parents' home." "You've been making calls just now. Don't tell me you were calling Yao. I advise you not to humiliate yourself. They look down on our Liu family now." "Look down on the Liu family?" Liu Hongyuan's lips twitched. "Since they're so ungrateful, don't blame us for being ruthless." This second brother sounds so affectionate. It must be the most pleasant title in the world. "Quick, little sister, call me second brother again," while Hu Yao was confused. That night, an anonymous report was submitted to the city prosecutor's office. Another letter exposing misconduct issues was sent to the news agency. The next day, after the show's recording ended, after chatting with Lu Sha yesterday, Wu Maio called his junior from high school. He didn't expect this Hu Yao to be a popular figure at school. Wu Maio glanced at the mask on Hu Yao's face and said softly, "By the way, sister, your live stream room is closed now and there are no cameras pointing at you. We've recorded so many episodes together, but we haven't seen you without your mask yet." Hu Shang suddenly chuckled. "If my sister takes off her mask, I'm afraid some people might become so insecure they'd want to end themselves." Hu Yao completely ignored him and pulled her brother's hand. "Let's go, fourth brother. Brother Tong is waiting for us outside before leaving." Hu Yao politely said to Yin Hai, Xiao Malin, and others, "When this show's recording is over, let's have a meal together. Today my brother and I will leave first." The ignored Shangxi and Wu Miao were awkward throughout, so awkward they could dig out a three-bedroom apartment. My goodness, someone dares to mess with his little friend? Isn't that asking for death? Shangxi pressed her brows and said angrily to Wu Miao, you just couldn't stay calm and had to go find trouble with that country girl. Tell me, weren't you embarrassed just now? Shenxi was full of regret. She shouldn't have brought this fool to participate in the show in the first place. Wu Miao knew Shenxi was angry, so he wisely kept quiet and didn't respond. He lowered his head and took out his phone to look at it. Wu Miao held his phone and looked at his cousin sitting beside him. He put the phone in front of her eyes. Cousin looked quickly. The hot search headline reads, certain officials' high-level conduct severely affects public image, writes about private meeting with high school girl. The photo above is of Hu Yao eating that day, secretly photographed. Shangxi glanced at him and said indifferently, what does this Photoshop picture have to do with me? Wu Miao said with schadenfreude, don't you think this girl looks very similar to Lucky's sister? The man has been identified by the comment section as director Fang Jai, a high school girl having an improper relationship with a male high-ranking official. The second brother, lost in the moment, suddenly thought, oh no, I came in a hurry and didn't bring a gift for little sister. How about this? I'll send you a red envelope first, and tomorrow I'll take you to choose a gift. His reputation is probably ruined. Shangxi narrowed her eyes. Then you'd better hurry and let the netizens know that the girl above is that country girl. The heat of the director's scandal won't last long. Wu Miao, hanging above for 5 seconds, was immediately reminded by Shen Sis' words. I'll switch to a small account now. Meanwhile, when Feng Zhen saw the hot surge, he immediately asked Lin Xuan to remove it as soon as possible to avoid causing trouble for Miss Huo before he could finish speaking. People from the disciplinary inspection department came to ask Fang Zhen to return and cooperate with the investigation. While Weibo was in an uproar online, Hu Yao was still on her way home after recording the show, still meeting with the Duke of Zhou in her dreams. Her phone's WeChat rang a few times. It was messages from Fang Ten. After reading Fang Ten's few WeChat messages, Hu Yao very confusedly sent a question mark back. She didn't even notice that the other party had changed how they addressed her, calling her sister. Fang Ting guessed that sister might not know about the Weibo incident yet, so he quickly replied, it's nothing, it's nothing. This chaotic operation left Hu Yao completely confused. He opened his private messages, and as soon as he did, it was almost all abuse, saying she wasn't behaving well, wasn't decent, and so on. Hu Yao looked at the messages, it's over. Our young miss is going to get angry. Min Yu looked at the hot search above. Clearly, someone dared to mess with her little friend without fearing deaths. Zhou Yun was about to have a brain hemorrhage from anger. He kept holding his phone, battling those brain-dead fans on it. His mouth didn't forget to criticize those people. Are their brains sick? Being photographed together means there's misconduct. Yang Yi came over with a computer. Brother Yu, I've deleted the posts leaking information about Yun Miss Wu online, but new posts keep coming up. Li Yu narrowed his eyes. His face showed that he was angry. He then said, have you found out who's behind this? The person who exposed Miss Huo's identity is someone called Luo Lin. The person who anonymously sent Miss Huo's photo to the news agency is Miss Huo's adoptive father, Liu Hongyuan. Yao Yao, come in quickly, dinner is ready. The green tea bitch saw Mom's vastly different attitudes as if struck by lightning, standing dazed and confused. Needless to say, it was another 200 yuan pocket money. At this point, Hu Yao was quite speechless. Transferring money at the drop of a hat, indeed a hereditary skill of the Huo family. Minyu's gaze was serene, her angular features were delicate, her voice was cold and indifferent. The information has already leaked. Continuing to delete posts won't help much. First, send the materials to Fang Chen. All right, Big Brother Yu is getting angry. He's really too handsome. This woman is so lucky. She has 4 super loving brothers and an incredibly good man protecting her. I'm speechless. After Huo Yao's information was leaked, Dog's second brother became very worried. His sister had been waiting at home for Huo Tinger, mentally preparing numerous legal responsibilities to pursue and absolutely intending to go all out. How dare they bully his sister? Dog's second brother told Yao Yao not to mind the online comments. Second brother has got your back. I won't let those who leaked your information off easily. Although Wu Yao didn't need her dog's second brother's help, she still felt warm inside. After Huo Tingray saw his sister return to her room, he looked at Huo Shang with a serious expression. Fang Jin just messaged me. Fourth brother rarely got angry. I don't know what they're after. Are they just bored? Who owed Tinger shrugged and said sarcastically, who knows what's going on in their minds? They're done for now. They've angered the demon brothers, who owed Tinger thought as he took out his phone. While waiting for Wei Fangjin and others to post clarifications online, he also needed to prepare to contact some friends. This matter couldn't be left as it was. Meanwhile, Wu Miao had been following the trends on Weibo. From the moment Hu Yao's information was exposed, seeing the netizens' abuse towards her, she felt a sense of exhilaration, but soon after, the Weibo hot search had changed. There was Feng Zhen's clarification post, him being mentioned by official high-level sources and lawyers threatening to pursue responsibility. After seeing all this, her face instantly turned ashen 5 seconds later. She came to her senses and hurriedly grabbed Shen Sis' arm, saying helplessly, "Cousin, what should I do now? Help me. You supported me to expose that information initially." Shen Si pulled her hand away and interrupted harshly. "You caused this trouble yourself. Don't try to implicate me. Who told you to provoke people you shouldn't have?" This woman was quick to shift blame. Wu Miao couldn't imagine that just because of those few photos, she would be misled and cause such a big mess. Never had she regretted anything as much as she did now. If only she hadn't leaked Hu Yao's private information, everything would have been fine. Now it was all ruined after Hu Yao returned to her room. She received a call from little Fatty next door. Min Yu told her that the online incident was not unrelated to her adoptive parents. Huo Yao recalled the WeChat messages she had just received and had guessed as much. Huo Yao's voice was calm, her delicate brows and eyes showing no excess emotional fluctuations. Him, as expected, seeing that the little one wasn't affected. On the way home, Lu Zia happened to see Huo Tinger pass by. Minyu felt relieved. She told her to sleep early and they wished each other good night, i.e., when are you two getting together? Wei Yao looked at her phone, an unconscious blush appearing on her face. Hee, who knew this would still be a considerate little fatty. The next day, when Wei Yao arrived at school and just entered the classroom, she sensed that her classmates' gazes were different from usual. Everyone was staring at her. Wei Yao was a bit confused. She misunderstood everyone, wondering why they were all staring at her with such strange looks. This woman is amazing, don't provoke her. She's ruthless enough to even set up her own brother. As soon as Huo Yao entered the classroom door, her classmates excitedly gathered around, asking eagerly, "Huo, boss, are you really lucky sister, surrounded by so many eyes?" Huo Yao pondered for a few seconds. She calmly said, "If you want my brother's autograph, you can make a list and I'll bring them for you later." What a way to set up her brother. As soon as Hu Yao spoke, the female classmates who originally wanted to ask questions instantly became excited and let out prairie dog-like Aya sounds. "I want one, I want one, I want one." Wei Yao thought about the comforting messages her classmates had sent in the class WeChat group after yesterday's Weibo incident. Seeing everyone seemed quite happy, she decided to be nice for once and added, "If you have friends nearby who want one, as long as it's not more than 3 per person, you can include them in the count for me." At this time, a classmate shyly asked, "I want a paper signature. Is that okay?" Not being in the circle or a fan, she didn't understand what a paper signature meant. Huo Yao thought for a second and nodded. "Sure, it's all signatures." Right, that classmate was overjoyed upon hearing this. Once one person started, in the end, everyone changed to asking for paper signatures. Seeing the classmates who had already started collecting signature information on their own, Meng Ying turned to look at Hu Yao. "Ju Jian, do you know what a paper signature is?" Hu Yao confidently replied, "I don't know, but it should be a signature, right?" She called him, receiving the call. Huo Tinger directly asked, "Is there something?" Meng Ying shook her head, then she explained to someone what a paper signature meant. "It's a signature that includes the fan's name." Meng Ying said seriously, "Many in our class are Lucky's fans, plus the extra slots you mentioned, it's at least 100 signatures. Right? Tisk, tisk," as expected of Juji setting up her own brother without mercy. Haha, soon, the news about signatures in the experimental class spread quickly. When students from other classes who were Huo Xiao's fans heard about it, they were incredibly envious. Lu Xiao naturally also heard her classmates' discussions. She had thought that yesterday's online exposure would completely ruin Hu Xiao's reputation. Who knew that Huo Tinger and Hu Shang would directly stand up to protect her? "They've never done this for me. Why her?" At this moment, the phone in her desk started vibrating. She didn't want to answer it. It wasn't until it had been vibrating continuously for several minutes that she reluctantly took it out. Lu Xia walked to a less crowded area in the corridor before answering the call. As soon as she connected, she heard the other party's accusatory voice. I've called you so many times. Why are you only answering now? I envy this family so much. The sister doesn't need to worry when something happens. The brother will take care of it. Lu Sha was already very annoyed. Being questioned for no reason, his tone became a bit harsh. I'm about to start class. If you have something to say it quickly. Liu Hong Nuyen shouted from the other end of the phone. The Liu family is about to fall apart. Liu Sha was shocked by this voice, his eardrums buzzing. After a long while, he came back to his senses. Liu Corporation was sealed off early this morning. The bank has also frozen all of Liu Corporation's funding. Liu Sha's face showed panic. He hurriedly interrupted. Wasn't everything fine yesterday? How did it get sealed off? In his previous life, the Liu family was also on the brink of bankruptcy, but that was more than a decade later. Why did it happen so early in this life? Lu Hanyuan's voice was sharp, his face twisted with anger. Why? It's all because of that good brother of yours. Lu Zia nervously said nothing. Huo Tinger is a well-known lawyer in the industry. But what did you tell me back then? You said they were just a bunch of good-for-nothing parasites. Hearing his father's accusations, Lu Sha felt very frustrated when he was brought back to the Lu family. He hadn't been reborn yet. He couldn't remember clearly what he had said before. Lu Sha was very confused, feeling that Huo Tingray had no reason to target Lu Corporation. Lu Han Yuan wiped his face, not wanting to say much more. Go beg who owed Tinger now. Beg him to withdraw the lawsuits against our Lu family from several partnering companies. Lu Sha's heart tightened and he instinctively said, he won't see me. Lu Han Yuan was already very impatient. I don't care how you do it, whether you beg him or your adoptive parents. If the Lu family falls, don't bother coming back. After saying this, Lu Han Yuan didn't give Lu Sha a chance to speak again and hung up the phone. Hearing the dial tone, Lu Sha's face turned pale. How could he face Huo Tinger now? Meanwhile, an assistant placed a contract on Huo Yenchi's desk. This is the acquisition agreement for Watchin News Agency that we just got back. The assistant's face was a bit pale and he asked with concern, Are you all right, Mr. Huo? Huo Yenchi shook his head, his voice a bit hoarse. I'm fine. He slowly picked up the acquisition agreement. The assistant asked, puzzled, Watchin is just a small news agency. Why do we need to acquire it? And our company doesn't even deal with entertainment and culture, perhaps to make up for something. Huo Yenchi mumbled softly. What the assistant didn't hear clearly what he said. Huo Yenchi waved his hand. Nothing. He quickly put the acquisition contract in the drawer. The assistant seemed to remember something. Liu Corporation has been temporarily sealed due to tax evasion and legal disputes. I remember your adopted sister is the daughter of the Liu family. Right. Before he could finish. Just wanted to ask if you're back from your business trip, Huo Tinger replied. Not yet, the company has many cases, might not be back so soon. At this moment, Huo Yao said disappointedly, is that so? Huo Yenchi interrupted him sternly. That rotten company, let it fall apart if it must. Don't mention Liu Corporation or any name from the Liu family again. I don't want to hear about them anymore. Guess whether the big brother will continue to help Liu Sha? Tell me in the comments. Look at this man's smiling face. Doesn't it look like how you fangirl? Haha, just after Wu Yenchai said he didn't want to hear about anyone from the Liu family, Liu Sha's call came in, unable to reach her big brother. Liu Sha asked the receptionist to contact him, but no one answered. At this moment, Assistant Wang happened to pass by. The receptionist quickly called out to him, asking if the ko was busy as his sister had come. Assistant Wang, remembering the ko's words, casually made an excuse. If there's anything, I can pass it on. The receptionist was a bit confused, as she hadn't seen the ko leave, but she didn't voice her doubts. Lu Sha's lips twitched, and she coldly replied, no need. She knew this assistant was making excuses to send her away. Before leaving, she said, pass on a message to Wu Yenchai for me. This ruthless behavior shows that our sibling relationship of over a decade means nothing. Assistant Wang watched Lu Sha's retreating figure. Frowning slightly ruthless, wasn't that a bit harsh? Their boss hadn't done anything, had he? After some thought, Assistant Wang still sent the recorded message to Hoyangxi via WeChat. After reading the message, Hoyangxi couldn't help but laugh self-mockingly. If it weren't for their relationship of over a decade, how could he have only arranged to acquire that one rumor-mongering news agency? Meanwhile, Huo Yao had just finished listening to Fourth Princess's new song. Huo Zhang's face was full of expectation, like a girl seeking praise, and he quickly asked his sister what she thought of the new song. Huo Yao gave him a thumbs up. It's very good, very relatable. When will the album be released? Huo Xing was overjoyed, rarely praised by his sister. The new song will be out during winter break. There will be a concert then. Oh, I heard from Brother Tong that you wanted my autograph. Huo Yao didn't feel embarrassed at all. Let me know when you're back. I'll pick you up at the airport. Huo Tinger casually said, okay, I have something to do. My classmate is your fan. Would it be too tiring to write 100 autographs? Huo Shan hadn't realized what kind of autographs they were. Looking smug, he thought it was just a small matter he could handle and was glad he had chosen an English stage name. That was really smart. Huo Yao pulled out a list of names from his bag, handed it to Huo Xing and said, then I'll trouble you with this as Huo Xing took the list. His cheek twitched when he saw the names. Damn, these were all for signing. Huo on Earth had a grudge against them to tamper with their car. This woman always tricked her own family and did so without any guilt. She took over 100 name lists and gave money to the little princess. Several hours passed and Hugh Xian finally finished signing those 100-plus autographs. When he put down the pen, his hand was shaking. He felt he would never be able to look at autographs the same way again. Huo Yao saw that fourth brother had finished signing. With a slight feeling of guilt, he gave the little princess a brief massage. Huo Shan looked at his wrist and saw it was getting late. He decided to let his sister stay overnight and take her to school tomorrow. Huo Yu thought about it and agreed, thinking it was fine. The next morning, Huo Shan had messy hair and very obvious dark circles under his eyes. Huo Yao concernedly asked if fourth brother didn't sleep well last night. Huo Shang recalled that letting his sister stay over for one night resulted in his father lecturing him for half an hour, followed by his second brother giving him a late-night lesson on legal knowledge when he could finally rest. He either dreamed of being chased and attacked or being arrested and thrown in jail. Over and over again, he simply couldn't sleep well. Huo Shang, listless and with a weary voice, said he had nightmares all night. Then he casually asked his sister about her plans for the winter break. Huo Xiao was leaning against the car window, her delicate eyebrows slightly raised. She said she might go back to her hometown to visit her grandmother. The green light ahead turned on and Huo Xiao started the car again. Suddenly, Huo Xiao's expression changed dramatically. The brakes weren't working and she couldn't control the car.